Westmoreland County High School basketball is on the air.
For the second time this season, the Jeannette Jayhawks and Serra Catholic Eagles do battle here tonight on the Westmoreland Sports Network from Jeannette High School. It is a Class 2A Section 3 matchup. Two of the better teams in this section. Serra Catholic 7-6, 4-2 in section play. Jeannette also at 4-2, 9-4 overall. And Jack, if the first meeting was any indication, this should be a terrific one. Jeannette winning at Serra Catholic in McKeesport. It required overtime, 67-62 back in mid-December. A terrific matchup, and we expect this will be very competitive as well, as two teams that have real aspirations not only to get into the playoffs, but to potentially make a postseason surge as well.
Well, you mentioned the fact that these two teams are meeting for the second time this season. Jeannette taking that first matchup, and so for Serra Catholic, they have a lot of revenge on their mind. Both teams riding respective winning streaks into this one tonight. Jeannette a 3-game winning streak, Serra Catholic a 5-game winning streak, and right now, Sean, you could argue that Serra Catholic, one of the hottest teams right now in all of 2A.
And there's something about Jeannette and overtime, because we mentioned they defeated Serra Catholic in OT. Well, last time out, they needed extra time to win against Riverview. That is a Raiders team that has surprised many this year. Riverview currently in fourth place, tied with the Clairton Bears at 3-3, which means that there's not a lot of separation for the playoff positioning. Jeannette and Serra Catholic currently tied for the second spot behind Greensburg Central Catholic. GCC is 5-1 and has defeated both of these teams already this season. Jeannette, as I mentioned last time out at home, 54-49. They outscored the Raiders 7-2 in the extra period to improve to 4-2. And you mentioned they're on a 3-game winning streak. It's been relatively low-scoring basketball for Jeannette during that time. 39-34, they defeated Clairton. They did that without one of their better players in Shane Mickens, who was out due to suspension. They then scored a 40-28 victory on the road at Springdale, and as I mentioned last time out, knocking off Riverview. On the other side, the 5-game winning streak included a non-section victory against Seton LaSalle for Serra Catholic, but then they won 4 consecutive in section play, knocking off Clairton at home, 77-66, at Springdale. They've also scored victories against Riverview, and then most recently a 79-76 win at Leechburg, in which they outscored the Blue Devils by 10 points in the fourth quarter for the come-from-behind victory.
Yeah, and on top of that one, you also had 5 players that finished in double figures. No, 5 players that finished in double figures for Serra Catholic in that game against Leechburg. So the Serra Catholic team, they've got a lot of offensive weapons and a lot of players that can fill up the stat sheet.
Yeah, their 5 starters all are very talented and very productive players, averaging between about 7.5 and 18 points per game. And it's notable that their 5 starters, they are pretty much fully healthy now. That was not the case when these teams met the first time. They were down a couple key components, including one of their starters in Pete Burke, a player who averages almost a dozen points per game. So it is another crack for Serra Catholic, and they feel like, according to their head coach, A.J. Corso, they're better positioned this second time around to knock off Jeannette.
Yeah, and another player, and Christian Warren, played that last game against Jeannette through the flu, and for anybody that's played through an illness, you know how challenging that can be. But for Jeannette, they've done a great job defensively all year long, holding opponents to about 46 points per game. We'll see how well defense becomes a factor here tonight.
Just about set to get this one underway. We will take a quick break, get you ready for the opening tip-off between Jeannette, Serra Catholic, Class 2A Section 3 matchup. It's upcoming right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
For over 35 years, Stevenson Insurance Associates in Greensburg has been saving their customers money on their auto insurance. If you are a safe driver and dissatisfied with the cost of your auto insurance, call Stevenson Insurance Associates at 724-832-9889. Lock in your great rate that won't change year to year unless you move, add a new driver, or buy a new vehicle. Call Stevenson Insurance Associates today for your free quote on auto, home, business, or life insurance at 724-832-9889.
At D'Annunzio's, our menu is extensive with an abundance of selections. The next best thing to being at one of our 3 locations is having our frozen food and jarred sauce in your own home. For our frozen food selections, we have wedding soup, pasta fagioli, lasagna, stuffed cheese rigatoni, ricotta cavatelli, and potato gnocchi. Our jarred sauces include the original, smooth, marinara, and tomato cream. These products can all be found at our restaurants or your local grocer.
The John V. Graziano Funeral Home on North 2nd Street in Jeannette proudly serves families in the Jeannette community. The Graziano Funeral Home focuses on traditional and non-traditional services, including funerals, cremation, memorial services, military services, grief support, and pre-planning. Please call us at 724-523-5433. The John V. Graziano Funeral Home in Jeannette, creating a meaningful service to honor the life and memory of your loved one.
Live rendition of the national anthem from a Jeannette student here at Jeannette High School gets us set for tonight's matchup. Sean Myers, Jack Wright, and now we're on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Chris Smith working the camera tonight, and our producer is Dan Flickinger. Starting lineup's just about set to be introduced. Let's take a look at them. First for the visiting Serra Catholic Eagles under the guidance of their third-year head coach, A.J. Corso. Starting 5, number 1, Elijah Ward. He is a senior guard. Joining him is a junior guard who wears number 2, Pete Burke. Isaiah Petty, leading scorer, a junior guard wearing number 4. He's joined by Owen Dombrowski, who is a sophomore guard wearing number 5. And at number 10, Joey DeMoss, a senior guard, rounds out the starting 5. Ward, Burke, Petty, Dombrowski, and DeMoss, the starting 5 for the visitors. And Jack, I'll let you do the honors for the homestanding Jayhawks.
Yes, we'll go with the Jeannette Jayhawks. Coming in at number 0, Jalen Bass. 1, Isaiah Malik. 3, Giovanni Marola. 5, Kamani Brown. And rounding it out, a senior listed at 6'3", number 10, Shane Mickens.
Glad you were able to read in the dark.
Yeah, lights went out on me. Did not expect that.
Kamani Brown. As the Jayhawks being introduced, they're under the guidance of their longtime head coach, Adrian Batts. 14th season guiding this program. He has gone against the Serra Catholic Eagles many, many times over the years, and they've had some great matchups. We'll look at the series history a little bit throughout, but you can always pencil these two teams as two that are competing for not only playoff spots, but many times for section supremacy. And again, right now, they are currently tied for second. Greensburg Central Catholic has a big test tonight against Riverview, which, by the way, that's the only team in this section that defeated GCC. So if the Raiders were theoretically able to knock off the Centurions, then we would have potentially two teams tied atop this section. So this one is very, very significant for both Jeannette and Serra Catholic.
Yeah, and especially just where we are right now in the season with playoffs right around the corner. Each and every single one of these Friday night basketball games, they become more and more important as the season wears on. And again, this is a very, very big matchup, not only just in terms of the section, but like you mentioned, Sean, the history that these two teams have. You know, you look at last year, Serra Catholic, they swept the season series against Jeannette, winning both matchups.
Jeannette wearing the white jerseys at home, and a premature jump there by Shane Mickens, so they'll do it again. It's Mickens and DeMoss, and they actually are going to give possession to Serra Catholic. They're wearing the gray jerseys. With the basketball, it's Petty, averages 17.8 per game. Team leader in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals. He's a terrific player. Mickens defending against Ward. Ward also one of the key components of this Serra Catholic football team. Won the WPL title just 2 seasons ago. Drive inside Petty and can't get the English as the rebound goes to Jeannette, and Isaiah Malik immediately fouled.
Yeah, on that last play, Petty came off the screen and he drew too. He did exactly what he's supposed to do as he drew the double team, and he should have tried to wrap it back over to Dombrowski, who was open on the throwback. Ultimately does not see the open man and then results in a missed shot.
Very interesting that Petty has been substituted out of the game as Christian Warren takes over. So it is a foul on Petty, but usually you don't see a player come out after just one foul because of foul trouble. It's more so a discussion about something else, and it seemed like A.J. Corso, his head coach, obviously saw something he did not like.
You mentioned Christian Warren now checking in. Last time he played through the flu when these two teams met up.
Bass, pass tipped, but it stays with Jeannette. Mickens to Bass, difficult catch, he makes it work and puts it in. Jalen Bass gets on the board for Jeannette. Well, it was a brief stay on the bench for Petty as he's back to the scores table to check in at the next dead ball.
I'm sure Coach A.J. Corso just challenging his leading scorer, one of his leaders on this team overall.
Burke with the basketball. Now baseline drive by Warren. He's the player that's on the court right now in place of Petty. 2-0 Jeannette, just about a minute and a half in. 8-minute quarters here at the high school level. Good defense so far by the Jayhawks. However, they commit a foul as DeMoss is looking to get to the cup. First foul on the home team. Goes on Mickens. As Petty back onto the floor. Isaiah Petty, also a baseball player for what's a terrific Serra Catholic baseball program. Ryan Zarenza does a wonderful job. They've had plenty of postseason success and championships. Petty lost the handle. And Bass gives off to the freshman Kamani Brown. Gio Marola pulls the trigger, it's good.
He's a player that this Jayhawks team desperately needs to get going early on. If he gets that first shot to go, his confidence goes right through the roof.
And he is a player who certainly shows his emotions out there on the floor. We saw that against Greensburg Central Catholic and already after his first 2 here tonight. Jeannette 5, Serra Catholic nothing. Petty, beautiful feed down low, swatted away by Mickens. And now Jeannette looks to push. Brown inside to Bass. Around the perimeter, Marola's open. Skips it to Malik. And Jeannette will reset. Good patient offense here for the Jayhawks.
That was good ball movement on that last sequence.
Marola, good again.
You can tell he's in a rhythm early. He's feeling comfortable, and it forces Serra Catholic to a timeout.
8-0. Jeannette Marola with a couple of 3 balls. Jayhawks rolling early. First quarter continues after a break here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Hi, Westmoreland sports fans. This is Al Gallardo, financial advisor with Lincoln Investment and longtime Westmoreland County resident. Whether it's a traditional or Roth IRA, 403B or 457 plan, mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, or bonds, I can help you navigate the markets and assist you in achieving all of your goals. Call me at 724-309-8337 or email me at agallardo@lincolninvestment.com and we'll get started together. Good luck to all of the area's athletes and coaches this season.
What a hot start for Jeannette here at home. Jayhawks up 8-0. Led by Giovanni Marola's 3-point shooting. He's knocked down a pair. Jalen Bass with the other hoop.
Yeah, it's really important that Marola able to knock down his first 2 threes. Like I mentioned, a player that plays with a lot of confidence, but once that first shot goes down, that's when the confidence soars. Really, not just for Marola, but really all shooters in general. When they see that first or second 3 go down, it's really all she wrote for the defense.
DeMoss gives it to Dombrowski. DeMoss trying to power his way in. That's cut off. Petty kicks it out. 3 balls up, and that could have been a goaltending. Instead, it is a putback by Burke, and Burke maybe a little shaken up. Now he's behind the play as Jeannette has numbers. Marola again. That time off the heel, and the rebound goes to Burke.
A little bit of a heat check there.
There's a 3 off by Dombrowski, and the rebound to Jeannette. If you're a coach, do you mind that heat check by Marola?
No, not at all. That's a 3 that I don't mind, especially if the guys hit the last 2. Now, that last 3 that Dombrowski just put up, I would have a major problem with. I know there's no shot clock in high school basketball, but early on in the sequence, not a good look.
Marola hits another. And the net inside out. Gio Marola with 9 of his team's 11 points as Warren returns to the floor for Serra Catholic Jayhawks, red hot from distance.
Marola does a great job at keeping that high release and making sure that when a shot contest comes out on him, it's going to be really challenging for a defender to be in his vision at the basket. So that ability of his to be able to have that high release, it's going to help him out not only at the high school level, but at the next level as well.
Roll inside, and a foul will send DeMoss to the line. I don't know if you saw Pete Burke walking past, Jack. He's got blood coming out of his nose. And so the trainer will have to work on him. We saw he was a little bit late to get back on that one play, and the reason was because he got whacked in the face, it appears.
And Pete Burke was a player that was absent the last time these two teams met up, and really an important piece to this Serra Catholic success, averaging 11.6 points per game. One of the many players on this Eagles team that's in double digits on the season.
And DeMoss is another as he hits the first. Second forthcoming. Serra Catholic shoots just shy of 66% at the line collectively. 1 of 2 for DeMoss. Jayhawks up by 8, just beyond the halfway point of the first. Bad pass easily stolen as Ward throws it ahead. And it rolls out for Dombrowski. Brown the other way. Fires it in. Good ball movement. Marola fouled, and he'll go to the line trying to add to his 9 points. Foul goes on Warren.
Yeah, really just through that whole entire sequence. The cross-court pass that sets up the breakaway, again, that's a very, very hard pass for you to make from one side of the floor to the next, especially with the zone defense. It's kind of sagging off a little bit. An easy steal for Serra Catholic, but then on the other end, you have Owen Dombrowski who goes up. He's got a wide open lane, but you know what he did, Sean? He looked at the defense. This is what a lot of young basketball players will do. They look at the defense, kind of seeing where the defender is so they don't get their shot blocked, instead of just going up and finishing through and looking at your target, which is the basket. And as a result, Dombrowski missed a really, really wide open layup.
Marola goes 0 of 2. Deep 3-pointer off to the right. Rebound contested, and it will stay with Serra Catholic as it appears as though Burke got whatever work he needed, whatever repairs he needed, as the Jayhawks faithful out loud and proud so far here tonight. They have plenty reasons to cheer so far with their team up 11-3.
Looks like it's pajama night in the student section here at the Birdcage.
We didn't get the memo. That's probably for the best.
Should have had our boss, Dan Flickinger, let us know that it's free dress day on the network.
Good defense by Kamani Brown, forcing a difficult shot by Warren. Tipped around a couple of times, and ultimately it's Marola who secures the board. Noah Sanders' pass tip stays with Jeannette and Brown. Corner 3 off by Malik. Ward whips a pass ahead to DeMoss. And right now the transition defense has been good for the Jayhawks. Mickens all the way. No one stopped the basketball, and he soars in for 2.
Serra Catholic really needs to take a second on one of these possessions and get a quality look at the basket. They've rushed a lot of their opening possessions, a couple quick threes. Look to see them try and, again, set something up in the half court here.
I talked to AJ Corso before, and he said they need to get off to a fast start. He said they had 19 points in the entire first half. In the first meeting this season, he wanted 19 in the first quarter tonight. I don't think they're going to get there. Although a battle for a rebound, and the Jayhawks come out with it. And a blocking foul goes on Serra for the Eagles. Petty called for his second as Jadell Minifield checks in. Burke back onto the floor.
Yeah, you got to think that now with 2 fouls on Petty, he's going to be sitting for a long time. It'll be interesting to see how this Jayhawks team adjusts, especially defensively, and for Serra Catholic offensively, who can step up now and score.
Marola probing inside, now kicks it to Noah Sanders. Sanders back out for basketball this year. What a welcome addition he's been for Coach Batt's crew. Inside, fadeaway jumper by Lonnie Green misses. Green, an imposing figure, a 6'3" sophomore. And that barely draws iron by Burke.
And Jeannette got a little lucky there. Both Noah Sanders and Giovanni Marola did not communicate well on the switch.
Somehow Green puts it up and gets it to go. Lonnie Green extends the lead 15-3.
What an explosive start for this Jayhawks offense.
And for Serra Catholic, a team that averages 66.5 per game, they can't get anything to work on offense. Contested inside by Green as he denies Dombrowski at the hoop. It will stay with Serra Catholic, however.
Great kick ahead on that feed. Just running the lane well, and Lonnie Green, a player that is a sophomore, so he's going to have a lot of time at the varsity level. And he's, again, going to learn, as he probably did there. If you run the floor hard, you will be rewarded.
Now Green certainly looks the part as he secures that rebound off of the miss by Burke. Jayhawks have it. They look to push. Brown, too strong. Ward the other way. Takes it the whole way. He's too strong. Back and forth we go. Brown ahead to Marola. And he draws contact. Good job by Gio, sensing that he would be able to get the defender to bite, and he'll go back to the line where he missed his first two. Minifield called for that foul. Looks like Petty will return here. This is a calculated risk by A.J. Corso.
I was going to say, very interesting move that we see here, especially with just how quick Petty has picked up his fouls. We obviously don't have the exact time he's been on the floor, but he has not logged many minutes in this opening quarter with that foul trouble.
Why aren't you keeping the exact time, Jack?
Left my
your phone has a stopwatch on it.
Yeah. Then I have to open it up, and it just would be too much. I left my stopwatch in my car, unfortunately.
Maybe get Bill Beckner on that. 2 of 2 for Marola. .5 seconds left in the first quarter. It is all Jayhawks as they're up 14 in the second meeting of the season between these squads. First one required overtime. Jeannette came out on top. Another miss as Petty can't hit the floater. Jayhawks need to hurry up a little bit here. Sanders, Bass, and he misses it, but a great start for Jeannette. 17-3, Jayhawks up at home over Serra Catholic. We'll step aside. Second quarter upcoming to continue right here on WSN.
For over 35 years, Stevenson Insurance Associates in Greensburg has been saving their customers money on their auto insurance. If you are a safe driver and dissatisfied with the cost of your auto insurance, call Stevenson Insurance Associates at 724-832-9889. Lock in your great rate that won't change year to year unless you move, add a new driver, or buy a new vehicle. Call Stevenson Insurance Associates today for your free quote on auto, home, business, or life insurance at 724-832-9889.
D'Annunzio's Italian Restaurants is open 7 days a week at all 3 of our locations, Jeannette, Monroeville, and Latrobe. We invite you to join us for our specials. Monday, the special is spaghetti. Tuesday, it's raviolis. Wednesday, it's lasagna. And Thursday, it's chicken parmesan or chicken romano. Be sure to try our drink specials and our fabulous desserts. And remember, we also have takeout available at all 3 locations.
Jayhawks in the lead, in possession of the basketball to begin the second quarter. Sanders with a good extra pass. Marola tries the other side. The result's the same. He hits another three-pointer. 14 points for Gio Marola. He's shooting it so well that the net can't even withstand it.
That's the second time that's actually happened. I have to say, as a former basketball player, that is such a great feeling when you swish a shot so well that the game has to be stopped because of the net getting messed up.
Either that or they're just really not that great at nets, because
they are pretty long nets.
I don't see that ever happen in the NBA. As Ward misses what was sort of an alley-oop layup attempt, and now a partial block by Mickens as he rejects Burke. Marola, the hot hand, takes it all the way aggressively, maybe a little bit of a force there. Now Serra with the run out. Should be an easy two. It is off by Burke. That's the type of night it has been for Serra.
The lid on the basket for this Eagles team. They have really struggled, and now Petty again getting checked back in, or getting set to check back in. Got to think Coach Corso, he might be getting desperate, looking for some offense right now.
Another three ball. This time it's off by Malik. He gets it back. It's loose now. Bass picks it up, puts it in. Jalen Bass's second field goal makes it 22-3.
It's obvious that the three-point shooting has been the difference, but right there on that last play, the 50-50 play is also going in favor of Jeannette.
Dombrowski stops the bleeding. Just the second field goal of this game for Serra. Marola wants it. Skip, nearly stolen, now is stolen by Ward. His pass, a bad throw ahead. We've seen multiple times back and forth turnovers. Having flashbacks to the other night, Jack. Glad the official actually stepped in and stopped that ball.
I've got my foot underneath the table here ready to stop it. But.
So we're covering Serra Catholic. One of their more famous alums in recent memory is Jimmy Moon. At Seton Hill, senior. He is 7 foot tall. And he went full speed into not only our table, but all of our equipment, and then me personally going after a loose ball on Wednesday at Seton Hill. I survived. Some of the equipment maybe didn't.
That's good.
Which part?
You making it out alive, that's good.
Sanders with the basketball. I think Flick probably would have taken the other, taken the opposite.
Yeah, he
would
definitely.
The equipment. Yeah.
He would want to make sure the equipment's okay.
He'd come visit my grave at least. Mickens. Marola. Brown bobbled it. Almost 2.5 minutes into this second quarter. Still a big Jeannette lead. Looking to add to it. Bass off. Tipped around. Mickens. He gets it to go. Even when they miss, Jeannette still finds a way to get points.
Like I said, it's that 50-50 play. I mean, that's just will and want by Mickens down low, tapping it around, making sure he keeps the play alive, and he does.
Petty with a dribbling display. Now Ward tries a three. It's good. Much needed for Serra Catholic.
And see there, Petty making the wise play, noticing he drew 3 defenders on that last sequence and then kicking it out in the corner, wide open three, and that's what Petty needs to keep doing. If it's not him that can score the ball, there's got other options as well.
Mickens hits the deck on a missed three. Strong rebound by Dombrowski. Ward, a lot of contact. It is, I believe, before the shot. Yes, it is, as Marola picks up the foul. AJ Corso, third year. He was an assistant for a couple years at Serra, also with the 9th grade team at Upper St. Clair. Played football in college at Teal. A breakdown defensively, a wide open free ball, and that is good for Ward.
That's back-to-back threes for Ward. Jayhawks have left him wide open. He's made them pay.
I would suspect that he won't be that open again next time.
No, I think that Coach Bass is going to make the needed adjustment as he's calling a timeout, and he gets it.
And Jeannette will talk things over. Still big lead for the Jayhawks, but it's been trimmed to 13. 24-11, Jeannette in front of Serra on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Are you saving enough to maintain your current lifestyle throughout your retirement years? Is it time to increase your retirement plan contributions? Is your asset allocation consistent with your retirement planning goals? Will Hoffman at Call him today at 724-522-5411 or simply stop by any local branch to arrange a free, no-obligation personal consultation. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Private Advisor Group and Hoffman Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Jayhawks ball after the Jeannette timeout, 24-11. They lead here at home. Second and final regular season meeting between these teams as Serra Catholic start to come to life, but we have seen 3 times now they force a turnover, give it right back. And we'll stay with Jeannette as Dombrowski had the last touch of it.
Yeah, you give a lot of credit to Jeannette because on plays like that, like you saw there, where they turn it over and then Serra Catholic comes out on the counter, a team like Jeannette, they could just back off and say, we're not going to get back in time, but instead they cut off the driver, able to take it away. Good job by them to have that quick transition.
Marola returns to the floor, leading scorer in this game. Tries to get 2 more, can't. Bass just kind of throws it up off the glass and gets it to go.
Well, you mentioned on a missed layup, it's kind of been that night for Serra Catholic. That last play, that's kind of been the night that the Jeannette Jayhawks have been having. Everything that they throw up towards the basket has been able to go in.
DeMoss. Now Dombrowski putting the moves on. That's a difficult shot. Long rebound, he gets it back. However, stepped out of bounds. Mentioned Marola, the leading scorer. He's got 14. He transferred in from Penn Trafford, where he was a key rotational player. Don't remember him starting much, but he came off the bench pretty early on in most games. His former team, Penn Trafford, struggling this year. 3-12, 0-5 in the section. They're playing at home against Central Catholic tonight, that being Pittsburgh Central Catholic. That's a non-section game.
I think Marola has found a nice new home here at Jeannette.
Can he add to his great night? Not there, but Green keeps it alive. Tried to get it back to Marola, and the pass just wasn't there. And now Marola in disbelief because the possession favors Serra Catholic.
Yeah, he's got to be careful he doesn't pick up a tee.
Yeah, he said, I didn't touch it, but the official disagrees. Feed down low, and that's an easy layup by DeMoss.
That's what happens when you're too focused on the previous play. Serra Catholic comes back. They notice that Jeannette's not really paying attention defensively. Nobody is matched up at all, and they resulted in a bucket. But now for Serra Catholic, you need to come up with a stop.
They almost got a steal there. And there's contact and a foul on Dombrowski as he bumps Marola to the floor. And Marola says something to the bench of Serra Catholic. And now he is making some facial expressions to someone on the bench. AJ Corso's not happy about it. Now Marola's talking to one of the officials. Back to action. Marola kind of lobs that pass to Malik.
There's been a lot of those lob kind of skip passes from this Jeannette offense.
Malik thought about the pull-up jumper, maybe one pass too many for Jeannette. But a double dribble. Dombrowski the guilty party.
Yeah, Dombrowski just going a little too quick. Kind of rushed it back on that transition play. But Jeannette, I really have to give them so much credit. Their ball movement has been spectacular against this Serra Catholic zone. I'm actually kind of surprised that Serra Catholic has stayed in this zone for as long as they have.
Especially with the way that Marola's been shooting.
Exactly. I mean, and not just the amount of shots that he's made, but they're also just getting open looks from three. It's not about just the amount that they've made, it's also the amount they're getting.
Mickens just turned around at the foul line wide open, and that's easy for him. He's now up to 6.
Yeah, that's a shot that you take in layup lines, just kind of slow and collected. Again, that's Serra Catholic not picking up defensively.
And a travel. As Petty turns it over. Well, you talk about the execution for Jeannette. Have to give a lot of credit to their longtime head coach, Adrian Batts, the 1986 Steel Valley grad who went on to play at Edinburgh. Coach Batts has assembled a really good staff with some of his former players. There he is. His son Julian, who played at LIU Brooklyn, is on staff. My old pal Swade Redmond recently wrapped up his career at Carlo, a new addition to this staff. Also has Darius Brown, Ken Arrett, and Dan Shipman on the coaching staff. As good defense by Ward. Ward with it now. Straight on 3 off the heel by DeMoss. Nearing a minute and a half left in the opening half. Bass can't hit it. Ward all the way, and he finishes.
Great tempo in this one, Sean. I mean, just both teams up-tempo, moving the ball up and down the floor really well. And for Serra Catholic, though, they need to then come back on the front court, slow things down, and get set in the half court. Jeannette, they've done a nice job of doing that.
Malik had a good look at it, kept alive by Mickens, and he's just taking over on the offensive glass. He and Bass combined have been overpowering in the paint.
Yeah, if it's from beyond the arc, it's Marola. If it's down low, it's Bass and Mickens. I mean, there's a lot of places offensively that this Jeannette team really excels at.
Especially on the offensive glass, and you mentioned the zone defense. That's sometimes an issue of zone defense, is you can't box out as easily. Final minute, Jayhawks up by 15 and with the basketball. Marola spins away, can't hit it, and that time Mickens jumped a little too early. And a charge goes against Makai Underwood. So many turnovers by Serra.
Let's see here on the replay. Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call. Gets the feet set. Yeah, that's a good call. I don't disagree with that. Good job by Kamani Brown to come over and take it. Especially when you have a player that takes flight. That's a very scary thing when you're just standing there. You're completely at the will of the other player. So good job by Brown to take it. And again, Serra Catholic, they just cannot find an answer offensively.
Jeannette going to hold for a final shot here?
I would say so.
Well, not if they turn it over, but it's last touch by Serra to the dismay of Corso and Elijah Ward.
That might be a give-back call because I think that ball went off Marola's knee.
And now he throws it away. And the Jayhawks compound it with a turnover. A hard foul by Brown will send Dombrowski to the line.
Yeah, and Coach Batts was irate, to say the least, after that. And
I think
for good reason.
Yeah, probably better just to step out and get your defense to reset as opposed to the live ball.
Oh, the other thing you could do is also just throw it off of a defender on Serra Catholic. Just throw it off, get reset on the sideline, and you still have possession. Coach Batts, he went to call timeout. I don't think he reacted quick enough, and I also don't. It was very bang, and by the time that the ball was saved back, just wasn't going to work.
Does not cost them as Dombrowski goes 0 of 2. Jayhawks have plenty of time for a shot. Brown, stripped of it. Now he's going to have to put it up. Nearly gets it to go as the half comes to an end. 30-15, Jeannette doubling up Serra Catholic. We'll take a break and head to the Excella Health halftime show after this as we continue our coverage of high school hoops right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
The most incredible machine ever created didn't come with replacement parts. Until now. Rebuilding the human body takes skill, not just science. At Excella Health, our team of specialists are using non-surgical treatments, minimally invasive procedures, and the most sophisticated surgical techniques to restore all aspects of human motion, whether you walk or fly. Orthopedics at Excella Health. Expert care. Here.
Great savings from Mike Camlin Hyundai. New 2023 Hyundais are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. New Tucsons, Konas, Santa Fe's, and Sonatas, all available with 2.9% financing. Or get up to $750 in rebates. Plus, all vehicles are backed by the Mike Camlin Advantage. Oil changes for life. Stop by today or shop anytime at MikeCamlinHyundai.com.
Collision Shop by Jason Mignone is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered on both passenger and heavy-duty vehicle repairs, including scratches, scrapes, and dents, free estimates, body repairs, welding, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our all-new alignment and calibration shop has the tooling, equipment, and staffing to ensure top-quality alignment and calibration adjustments for your vehicle. Our friendly office staff is more than happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit the Collision Shop by Jason.com for our complete list of services.
We know speaking with your teen or your young adult about drugs and alcohol can be challenging, but is necessary. Remember to have a conversation, not a confrontation. Establish good communications, break through barriers, and be firm but loving. Here are some helpful tips. Choose a good place and time to chat. Talk with openness. Actively listen. Offer empathy and support. For more information, visit us online at wedacinc.org. Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission. Prevention is key.
Have you or someone you know committed to play a sport at the next level? Let us know by emailing info@westmorelandsports.com so we can add you to our WSN College Commitment page. Our unique page features a list of current Westmoreland County student athletes that have made a verbal or written commitment to play a sport in college. No matter what sport at what level, our College Commitment page has you covered. Check it out next time you visit westmorelandsports.com.
We have reached the Excella Health halftime show here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Excella Health, expert care. Here at Jeannette, 30-15, Jayhawks up over Serra Catholic, doubling up the Eagles. They held a team in Serra Catholic that averages 66.5 points per game to 3 in the first quarter. Now, the Eagles played almost even in the second quarter, but unfortunately for A.J. Corsa's crew, if you dig yourself into a big hole like that, playing even the next 3 quarters isn't going to be enough. How does Serra Catholic have to come back in this game?
Well, first things first, I think they have to get out of the zone. I mean, that was really, I think, what hurt them in the beginning. Obviously, when you've got a shooter over on Jeannette and Gio Marola who can light it up from really anywhere from beyond the arc, that's going to be a problem. And so for Serra Catholic, they should have been able to locate, especially when you go into a game like that, when you know that you've got a really good shooter on the other side of the floor, you have to always locate that shooter when he's out on the court, and they did not do that in the first half. And again, Marola took full advantage of that zone. I think that the first thing they do in this second half, they get out of the zone, and then also they continue to try and force Jeannette to throw those cross-court skip passes. They did a good job with that, and as a result, they got a lot of turnovers against Jeannette from that. But again, out of those turnovers, what did Serra Catholic do? They turned it right back over. So for the Eagles offensively, they need to convert. They need to turn these mistakes that Jeannette has been causing at times, although very, very, very few, still need to come up with baskets on the other end, because if not, the more times that they get stops and no buckets on the other end, the more that they're going to find themselves in this deficit. So for Serra Catholic, immediately get out of the zone to start in this second half, and also offensively, take your time, slow things down. A couple early shots in the sequence that personally I was not a huge fan of. Again, I'm not a coach, but there's a couple shots that I felt were a little bit forced, a little rushed. So take your time, really get some good quality ball movement from side to side in the half court, and get a good shot at the basket. But over for Jeannette, I mean, keep doing what you're doing. What they've done in that first half, they need to carry over into the second half, and they need to keep doing a great job at moving the ball. I think that was really the difference for their offense, is how well they shared the rock.
All right, so you mentioned Serra Catholic get out of the zone, and we've seen them twice. Everyone, I think, against GCC is probably going to benefit from playing at least some zone, just because of how the Centurions are comprised. They really don't have outside shooting by and large. We've seen the Jayhawks do here tonight. But my question is, without us really knowing the ins and outs of Serra, what if they're a team that plays all zone? Is that something that can you, on the fly, shift to a different type of defense without having gone through all of it? Is there scenarios where coaches would feel comfortable only having zone defenses in, or do you think just about every coach has players trained to do both zone and man?
I mean, really, when you're trained to do both, and I think that, you know, when you're a basketball player, especially at the varsity level, you should be expected to know how to play both a zone and a man-to-man defense. The caveat of that is there are various different types of zones, and we saw Serra Catholic, they threw a 1-2-2 at times. I think I even saw a little bit of a 2-1-2. I think what they need to do is go with a 3-2 defense. Really take away, if they're a team that's going to stay predominantly zone, they need to take away those perimeter shots, take away those perimeter drives, and that perimeter ball movement, and so really force Jeannette to beat you down low. They've gotten a lot of really good production down low from Jalen Bass as well as Shane Mickens.
On the offensive glass primarily.
Yes, but outside of that, Jeannette really hasn't done a whole lot down low. So maybe if you're Serra Catholic, because really the way that Serra Catholic lost in that first half, Jeannette just beat them from beyond the arc. That was the difference in that first half. So what they, I think, need to do is, again, Serra Catholic, just force Jeannette to beat you down low as opposed to beyond the arc.
Well, we'll see what adjustments these teams make. Obviously, for Adrian Batch, you probably don't have to make a ton of them with your team up 30-15 over Serra Catholic. We'll step aside, get you ready for the third quarter of action as we continue our coverage of high school hoops. Westmoreland County action. Jeannette hosting Serra Catholic right here on WSN.
Right now at Smale Kia, take $500 off any in-stock or incoming 2023 Kia Forte or Soul. Lease a 2023 Kia Forte LXS 4-door sedan for just $289.95 a month. A fair price all the time. At Smale Kia, you never have to worry about the ugly three. No sly market adjustments, no creepy addendums, no fancy surcharges. Avoid the ugly three and be free. Shop Smale Kia, where you never pay more than MSRP.
Your next golf adventure awaits at Manor Valley Golf Course in Export. Manor Valley offers 18 scenic holes over gentle sloping fairways and the purest putting surfaces around. Manor Valley Golf Course in Export is the perfect place to host your next golf outing, banquet party, or shower. Manor Valley also offers league play and great membership rates. Tee times available. Call 724-744-4242. Visit ManorValleyGC.com.
Are you saving enough to maintain your current lifestyle throughout your retirement years? Is it time to increase your retirement plan contributions? Is your asset allocation consistent with your retirement planning goals? Will Hoffman at Hoffman Wealth Management can help you determine if it would be in your best interest to revisit your retirement planning goals. Call him today at 724-522-5411. or simply stop by any local branch to arrange a free, no-obligation personal consultation. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Private Advisor Group and Hoffman Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
For over 35 years, Stevenson Insurance Associates in Greensburg has been saving their customers money on their auto insurance. If you are a safe driver and dissatisfied with the cost of your auto insurance, call Stevenson Insurance Associates at 724-832-9889. Lock in your great rate that won't change year to year unless you move, add a new driver, or buy a new vehicle. Call Stevenson Insurance Associates today for your free quote on auto, home, business, or life insurance at 724-832-9889.
Just about set to begin the third quarter of action, and some of our colleagues in the house tonight. There's Brent Wiggum, voice of Jeannette football, he and Anthony D'Annunzio. And Will Hoffman, well known in Jeannette circles, sitting next to him. Brent came over and said hi to us before we got this one on the air tonight. As Serra Catholic with the basketball, they're wearing the grape. Jeannette defending, wearing the white jerseys here at home. Lead of 15 for the Jayhawks. Ward. Now Ward wanted it back as we see Tyler Sapita on the floor for the first time for Serra Catholic. As good defense by Mickens. Floater, Petty can't get it to go. Petty scoreless in the first half. He Mickens powering his way, swatted away. And so Cepeda making an early impact. A little bit more size out there for Serra as Marola commits a foul. Marola's very expressive.
Yeah, he plays with a lot of personality. Great timing on that block there by Cepeda, especially as a freshman. Played really well in the JV game, got here a little early, saw him play in the JV game, and he did a really nice job down low. It's good that he's getting some nice varsity action early on in his high school career.
I'm guessing A.J. Corso took notice of that as well. So he makes what's a pretty noticeable personnel adjustment to begin this third quarter. Question is, can Serra get the offense going? That's a deep three off, but following his misses, Dombrowski can't hit the follow-up, but the putback by Ward, who got inside positioning, as he's in double figures with 10.
I think Serra Catholic got bailed out on that last offensive play. You could tell a lot of players standing around did not really seem to know what they were doing, and then resulting in a three just being fired up, and they get lucky on the offensive rebound.
Brown, Malik. That's good. First points for Isaiah Malik. And a foul on Jeannette, second foul of this quarter. Not a ton of whistles in the opening half.
And maybe that's what Serra Catholic, tries to do early on in this second half. So we see the three get rattled in there on the replay, but maybe you try and turn this into a foul contest and go to the free throw line, shoot some free throws, and see if you can get back into it.
How about a three-pointer? That goes for Petty. Oh, that net, again, acting up. First points for Isaiah Petty. So we've seen both Malik and Petty get off the schneid here just about 2 minutes into this second half of play.
And I mentioned the first half, a player like Marola, who came out strong early on, really could carry that confidence through each and every single shot after that. You saw that, and there for Petty, a player that also scores the ball quite a bit. A little bit of a sigh of relief there, getting that first shot to go through finally, and you can kind of relax the shoulders some and say, okay, now I can just get back to how I normally play.
Mickens with that size advantage against Ward, so Ward took the quick foul, his first. No real foul concerns either way. No one has more than 2 fouls. Serra Catholic with the steal. Dombrowski kicks it back to DeMoss. Good defense by Bass. A little bit of one-on-one here. Spin away and blocked by Bass. Great defense to stay with and then reject Dombrowski. Marola lines it up. Now a run out. Dombrowski. Cepeda gives a good screen and a scoop finish by Petty.
Great finish there by Petty, just able to squeeze past defenders. Found just enough wiggle room to get that shot off glass.
Serra Catholic trying to climb back in this one. They were down 17-3 after the first quarter. Brown, strip free. The largest deficit of this contest for Serra was 19 points. They were down 22-3 early in the second quarter.
Well, they're doing a good job of, again, generating it and starting it on the defensive side, limiting Jeannette here early in the second half, and then carrying it over offensively.
Marola wide open. He knew it was up. Cepeda grabs the rebound.
He's gone a little cold here, Sean.
This is the 8th game of the season for Cepeda. Averages less than 2 points per game. Ward can't hit. Putback goes as DeMoss gets on the offensive glass. Momentum starting to shift.
That's what you need in a game of basketball. Just a couple stops, couple baskets. They need to keep this really good defense going. They've switched over to a man, and it's started to work for them.
You have to wonder if Adrian Batts might look for a timeout if Jeannette can't make something work here soon. Almost halfway through the third quarter. We've got a single-digit game right now. Marola trying to change that. Halfway down, pops out. Ward on a run out. Leaves off. Transition three, it's good. As DeMoss knocks it down, Serra Catholic comes storming back. It's 33-27. We'll take a break. Nope, I lied. It was the net again. Thought for sure that was a timeout by Jeannette.
The net fooled you there.
I will say this, I'm surprised Jeannette didn't take a timeout there.
I am too. I am too. I think that right now, if you're the Jayhawks, you need to settle some things down. I mean, Serra Catholic, again, all the credit in the world to them in the first, 4 minutes or so of this second half. Again, it started on the defensive end. They've switched to a man. It slowed things down for the Jayhawks. Their ball movement has not been as crisp and sharp as it was in the first half, and as a result, Serra Catholic, they're pouncing all over them.
What is the stoppage here? Both coaches are talking to the official. So they want the net to be fixed. Let me ask you this, Jack. You've played more basketball than I have. Is there a reason why you can't play with the net sort of tangled up like that? I mean, the ball's still going to go in, isn't it?
I honestly have never seen...
It's more distracting with all these stoppages than it would be.
That's what I would think is the problem, is that play has to be continuously stopped. Now, I have never seen it go to a point like this where there is a lengthy stoppage in play in a matter of what the problem is with the netting.
And
I've
by the
never
way,
seen that.
The athletic director here is Adrian Benz. So he, I think, would also sort of be responsible to address an issue. And again, I understand why the officials have to do it, but I also wonder, is there a scenario where they could basically say it's not realistically going to affect the game too much, even if it gets turned inside out?
I think that's what they have to realize, that they really can't do anything about it except, when a shot goes through that's nothing but net. They might have to stop play again. Now, maybe for the next game, that is something that gets addressed and fixed moving forward, but
sure,
the middle of the game can't do anything about it.
And you have to wonder, does that stop any Serra Catholic momentum with that, maybe 2-minute stoppage there? Kick out, Malik, no. Rebound by Marola, and he finishes. Much needed for Jeannette and Marola. Petty high off of glass, and Sanders comes down with it. Noah Sanders, difficult pass ahead, and Serra comes up with the steal. Warren gets it ahead. Dombrowski all the way. Can't finish. Offensive rebound. And Pete Burke with the reverse layup.
And I've said this before on broadcast, that is why you are always, always, always trailing someone in transition, because more times than not, they miss layups, and the trailer winds up getting the basket and the rebound, too.
Jeannette struggling to secure defensive rebounds here in the third quarter.
Again, I think it's that switch defensively. They've gone to a switching man, and it's really bothered Jeannette.
Sanders off. However, Bass keeps it alive. Alec driving. Marola up top, no hesitation. He follows the miss, and now what's the call? I believe Serra Catholic's DeMoss was on the baseline as he had dual possession of that rebound.
Now, I'm not counting the amount of misses that Marola has had in the second half, as that was pretty close. I honestly thought that was going to be maybe a held ball, but
I think it was going to be eventually, but I think they determined that maybe the foot was out before it was to that point.
And you see on that last replay there, Dombrowski just trying to seek out the contact a little bit too much instead of just going up and finishing.
Marola gets to the 10 and is fouled. Not sure if that's in the act of shooting or not. And it is. So he'll go to the line.
Well, like I was mentioning about Marola, I don't have the amount of threes he's put up in this second half, but I would say he's about 0 of 6 from downtown. About 4 of them have been short, as that was again short. Might be a little bit of fatigue setting in, especially in the lower body, and somebody that gets a lot of minutes, an offensive player that is known as a very good scorer and a shooter, mind you. They're running around a lot, especially off ball, and got to think that fatigue might start to settle in here for Marola.
Well, he hit both of those foul shots, pushing it back to an 8-point advantage for the Jayhawks. They're getting after it defensively here with some pressure. Serra able to break that. Petty Leading scorer on the season for the Eagles. Now a bounce pass. Now a lot of contact there. Officials say play on as Petty went down pretty hard.
Yeah, Marola got...
Cannot stay in bounds. Speaking of which, Mr. Bloody Nose checks in. That's Pete Burke. Still has that, what's the word I'm looking for in his nose? Not tissue, but
I would call it tissue,
whatever.
Yeah. Plug.
That's going to make sure, hopefully, that it does not continue to bleed as he pulls the trigger on a three. Multiple players battling for the rebound, but it's ultimately Lonnie Green who snags it. Marola passing on a three. Malik's open. Well, their shot's not falling right now for Jeannette.
Yeah, they have gone cold from deep. And again, I'll continue to reiterate that it's the ball movement. You can tell now the ball's starting to stick a little bit longer. It's staying on one side of the floor a little bit longer. And they're putting up shots that they were not putting up in that first half. And again, give credit to Serra Catholic and Coach Corso being able to make those halftime adjustments.
Jeannette fans trying to spark their team. Currently up by 8, but Serra Catholic certainly has assured that this game will be up for grabs in the fourth quarter. We're a minute away from there as Ward swatted, but too much contact. And Elijah Ward will go to the foul line. Green picks up his first. Ward receiving a lot of football interest. Westminster, Waynesburg, W&J Baldwin Wallace among the schools that have reached out to him.
Had a really good performance the last time these two teams met up in that overtime loss for Serra Catholic. Ward had 15 points, was the second leading scorer in that loss. Leading scorer was Isaiah Petty, who had 16.
Yeah, Ward had a double-double, 15 and 11.
Here's the other thing about this Serra Catholic team, Sean. They are not just getting offense from one or two players. It's 3 or 4 players that can score on this team between Dabrowski, DeMoss, even Pete Burke, Ward, Petty, you name it. I mean, they've got legit 4 or 5 players that can fill it up on a nightly basis.
Yeah, and they were not at full strength in the first meeting. We mentioned that Burke was out. Underwood, who we saw briefly off the bench, also missed that game. Mickens moves it to Marola. Green wants it, and Marola gets it. Swatted as he goes down hard. Clean block, stays with Jeannette.
Great job by Minifield on the recovery. Kind of allowed the lane to open up, and then he comes and recovers with the block from behind.
Kamani Brown looks to be confused about something. And that will prompt a timeout by Adrian Batts. It is a timeout this time, not just a net inside out. We'll step aside. Final minute of the third. Jayhawks up 7 on WSN.
The John V. Graziano Funeral Home on North 2nd Street in Jeannette proudly serves families in the Jeannette community. The Graziano Funeral Home focuses on traditional and non-traditional services, including funerals, cremation, memorial services, military services, grief support, and pre-planning. Please call us at 724-523-5433. The John V. Graziano Funeral Home in Jeannette, creating a meaningful service to honor the life and memory of your loved one.
Now is the time to save at Sendell Subaru in Greensburg. We've got inventory on the lot and more on the way. Forester, Outback, Ascent, Legacy, and more. Get a great deal on a new 2022 Subaru. Check out SendellSubaru.com today. Looking to turn your current vehicle into cash? Sendell pays top dollar. Get your best deal at Sendell Subaru, Route 30 Greensburg, SendellSubaru.com. We would love to meet you.
Jayhawks basketball, 37-30. Late stages of this third quarter. Sean and Jack here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Chris Smith working the camera tonight, our producer, the one and only Dan Flickinger. Sanders. We'll see what Adrian Batts threw up out of that timeout. Into Green. And some interior passing. Green has it roll off, kept alive by Sanders. And a foul will send him to the line.
I'll continue to give a lot of credit to Manyfield down low. Did a really nice job defensively, almost three-quarter cutting off that entry pass down low.
There was a clean block by Burke, but the foul went on Ward. And so Sanders, trying to get on the score sheet, misses the first.
Yeah, it could come back for Serra Catholic in a negative way. Ward now with 3 fouls.
He goes to the pine. Manyfield joins him. Bass returns for Jeannette. I see Jalen's sister Jada quite a bit playing for Carlo, as they love using the buzzer here at Jeannette, don't they?
Yeah, they use it a lot.
Wanted to talk to the official about something here. He's pretty animated.
I think it's a matter of figuring out the foul count.
Well, the scoreboard is showing 3 and 3. I would describe AJ Corso tonight as stoic, Jack.
He was, I would say, very aggravated after that first quarter. He was very aggravated. I would be too, after how his team played after that first quarter.
Sanders misses both.
It's big right here for Serra Catholic.
They'll back it out. Dozen seconds left into third. Eagles down 7. They can make it a 2-possession ball game heading to the fourth with a hoop here. Corner 3, and that's well short by Warren. 3 quarters complete. Fourth quarter upcoming. Jeannette trying to fend off a rally from Serra Catholic. Jayhawks up 37-30 as we head to the fourth on WSN.
D'Annunzio's Italian Restaurants would like to express our sincere thanks to all of our loyal customers for their continued support dating back to our beginning in 1977. Since then, we've grown from our original location in Jeannette. We then added Monroeville in 1997 and expanded even further as we moved into the Arnold Palmer Regional Airport in Latrobe in 2004. It is our pleasure to provide our customers with the very best experience. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Now is the time to save at Sendell Subaru in Greensburg. We've got inventory on the lot and more on the way. Forester, Outback, Ascent, Legacy, and more. Get a great deal on a new 2022 Subaru. Check out SendellSubaru.com today. Looking to turn your current vehicle into cash? Sendell pays top dollar. Get your best deal at Sendell Subaru, Route 30 Greensburg, SendellSubaru.com. We would love to meet you.
We know speaking with your teen or your young adult about drugs and alcohol can be challenging, but is necessary. Remember to have a conversation, not a confrontation. Establish good communications, break through barriers, and be firm but loving. Here are some helpful tips. Choose a good place and time to chat. Talk with openness. Actively listen. Offer empathy and support. For more information, visit us online at wedacinc.org. Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission. Prevention is key.
Jeannette turns it over as we begin the fourth quarter. Jayhawks up 7 over Serra Catholic. Eagles come the other way. And a whistle on the Jayhawks. It'll be the 4th team foul. It goes on Noah Sanders. Sanders' name has been a famous one here in Jeannette for many, many years. Noah had so many older brothers who were key components of Jeannette's athletic success.
He had a nice
Giovanni, a great one. Go ahead, Jack.
He had a nice performance last time these two teams met up, had 11 points.
Good rebound by Bass.
Yeah, he's been strong on the glass tonight. Been very impressed with his ability down low. And also his ability to stay out of foul trouble. No fouls for him.
Mickens was open, but didn't even look to shoot there. Brown swatted away. Sapita not playing in the first half. He's made an impact in this second half.
Yeah, he's going to be a good one for this Eagles team in the future. Does a really nice job, and you can see here just great timing and on the rotation too, and then ultimately on the swat. Really, really nice job by the freshman.
Being 6'3" as an ninth grader certainly bodes well. Bass swatted away again. It will stay with Jeannette.
And again, just good anticipation by the freshman. He did get caught on the first up and under by Bass, but he did a relatively good job at staying mostly grounded. Did get up off the ground a little bit, but wasn't enough for a foul to be called.
Swatted away by Dombrowski, and a collision. There's going to be a foul. It'll simply be Jeannette basketball.
It is a block party here at the Birdcage. My, oh my. What a swat by Dombrowski.
You know, I'm going to be honest, I never heard it called the Birdcage before today. There it is. I mean, Flick's making me look silly. Malik can't get it. Bass, and he's fouled. And so the Jayhawks on the offensive glass will be rewarded with a trip to the line. It goes on DeMoss.
That's been a big part for how Jeannette has been able to keep this lead despite Serra Catholic making a little bit of a comeback. It's been the rebounding.
Bass good on the first. Jeannette scored just 7 points in that third quarter. Second off front iron. Who's the lane violation on? It's on Serra Catholic. So do it again.
Let's see here on the replay. Oh, I don't know who that would be on. That's.
Yeah, I didn't see a ton there.
Yeah, that was.
Well, I guess, as they say, Jack, ball don't lie.
Ball does not lie.
Famous words of Rasheed Wallace. Minute and a half gone, fourth quarter. Jayhawks up by 8. Trying to sweep this season series against Serra. That's a strong take by Petty. Petty with 7. They've all come in this second half.
Yeah, he's going to be really needed this final 6 minutes of play for this Serra Catholic team.
Mickens tries to answer, and he finishes. Was a little out of control, but gets the hoop. Mickens now with 10. Busy night here in the conference. We mentioned Riverview at GCC, just a few miles away, and then Springdale at Clairton. Strong by Ward. Rebound to the Jayhawks. Brown looks to push, and maybe with a little too much haste there. And Ward finishes the other way through contact. He'll have an and one opportunity. You go back to the freshman Brown, I think maybe a little too aggressive on one end, and it comes back for potentially a three-point play on the other end. Chance to make this a 5-point game if Ward can hit the freebie.
Yeah, good job by Ward noticing that, the seas were parting there in transition, and Mickens he noticed it too late when he rotated over. And in that situation, if you're Mickens, I let the layup go because you don't want to have a chance at a three-point play, which Ward completes.
40-35, Serra Catholic continues to chip away. Bass, Brown. Marola has been quiet recently, and a foul before the shot. That's the 5th foul on Serra.
Came against Sapita.
Yep, that's his first. Difficult catch from Marola. Difficult hoop, but he gets it to go. Using the glass to his advantage, he's up to 20. Wing 3 ball, that's pure.
That was needed.
And a timeout taken. We will step aside as well. 3 minutes gone in the fourth. It's a 4-point Jayhawks lead here on WSN.
For over 35 years, Stevenson Insurance Associates in Greensburg has been saving their customers money on their auto insurance. If you are a safe driver and dissatisfied with the cost of your auto insurance, call Stevenson Insurance Associates at 724-832-9889. Lock in your great rate that won't change year to year unless you move, add a new driver, or buy a new vehicle. Call Stevenson Insurance Associates today for your free quote on auto, home, business, or life insurance at 724-832-9889.
Jack, how excited are you that we will be filming our next episode of the Westmoreland on a Hardwood podcast this weekend?
I'm beside myself, really. I'm so thrilled. I can't wait for another awesome episode. Going to be coming out early next week. Make sure you check out all the other ones that are out now. Sean and I chatting hoops each and every single week on WSN.
4-point Jayhawks lead, and loose ball that DeMoss comes down with. A three. It's a 1-point game. The whistle is for the tangled netting. That's not the first. Might not be the last time, but this game has completely changed.
It's a tale of two halves right now, Sean.
Serra outscored Jeannette 15-7 in the third quarter. And they've outscored them by 6 so far here in the fourth quarter. And they've got a chance to take the lead. Feed across, Petty rattles it home.
Wow. Talk about relentless, resilient defense by this Serra Catholic team.
Bass slips inside, gets it across to Mickens for two.
It was good rotational defense by Serra Catholic. Mickens just a little bit quicker down low and finishes.
That lead for Serra that lasted all of about 5 seconds was their first of the night. Jayhawks back up by 1. This is getting intense in here. Still got almost half of this quarter left. First game went to overtime. Jeannette won it at Serra. Petty feeling confident. Almost a spectacular finish, and then a loose ball foul. On the rebound, it goes against Serra. Not a shooting scenario. That's the team's 6th. But it is the 4th on Elijah Ward.
Yeah, that could very well, like I said, that third foul could be big. Now that fourth foul even bigger. There's a good shot of Coach Batts.
And Roy Hall looming in the background, the legendary football coach here at Jeannette. Former player, longtime assistant, longtime head coach, stepped aside about a year ago. Brown. Bass hammered inside, a little late whistle, but that was an obvious foul. Burke did not get cheated on that one.
No, that was an easy one to make. Easy call to make. But now this Jeannette team, they've got chances at free throws for the rest of this ball game.
Well, Bass gets 2 here because it was in the act. And he misses.
This is where free throws win and lose ball games. It's such an old cliche in basketball, but it's so true. The amount of games that are simply won and lost at the stripe. And that's why coaches in practice, a lot of players sometimes, they don't take free throws serious and then they wonder why they lose by 2 or 3. In practice, it's always important to focus on those free throws.
That was not a good one there for Bass as he goes over 2. And he'll check out. He's getting encouragement from his coaching staff. They know they're going to need Bass down the stretch, but right now they have to figure out a way to get some momentum back. Jeannette's in the lead, but it feels like it's clearly lopsided in favor of Serra Catholic right now. Dombrowski to Petty. Petty's got 9, all in the second half of play. Ward knew it was off. Marola grabs it. Mickens, Green, and he was well defended. Can't believe there was not a foul call. Jayhawks a little late getting back, but the Eagles throw it away.
That's an unforced error that I'm sure Joey DeMoss would love to have back. Had Petty wide open in the corner, just put little too much arc behind it.
I think a fan's being tossed right now. And no one's in much of a hurry.
I have to say, Sean, there has been a lot of stoppages in this game today. More than I feel than usual.
Well, they're going to wait.
Well, it looks like a fan is getting tossed out of here. What an interesting game today, Sean.
He gone.
We've seen nets getting caught, fans getting tossed. There is the fan, the grand walkout.
Well, at least he didn't do like NBA players when they get ejected and take his shirt off.
Yeah.
Well, back to the action. Jayhawks up by 1, but it feels like that lead is certainly in jeopardy as a foul by Malik. That's the 6th on Jeannette.
Yeah, just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And you mentioned it earlier in the game, Sean, with the stoppage. You have to wonder, now another stoppage in play. Does that throw off more of the momentum? Does that slow things down for not just Serra Catholic, but really both teams? Just trying to get into a rhythm, trying to get into a flow of the game.
Ward with his 4 fouls has the basketball. 2 minutes left in regulation. I preface it because this game went to overtime in the first meeting. What a pass! But Serra's mini-field had nowhere to go with it, and Jeannette comes up with the steal. And Sanders elevates, now head to Marola. He can't finish. What a job by Sanders to get that loose ball and advance it, but Marola was well defended. Serra trying to get just its 2nd lead of the night. Stolen. And a foul will send Bass back to the line. Although, if you're Serra Catholic, that might not be the worst outcome.
No, with the way that Jeannette shot the ball from the free throw line, that might not be the worst thing to have happen. But that could very well become a factor down the stretch of this game if Serra Catholic gets into a situation where they have to foul.
How about the elevation by the 5'8" Sanders, and then it led to a good look for Marola. So Bass goes to the stripe, 1-1.
Well, here was my thing, is I was impressed that Ward tried contesting that shot. He's playing with 4 fouls.
And it's missed by Bass. He has missed 4 in a row.
For Serra Catholic, no need to rush. No shot clock. Do not need to rush.
Oh, that's a quick shot, but it's a good one as Burke hits a 3-pointer, and Serra Catholic has its 2nd lead, 46-44. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a break. Just over a minute left in this one. Don't go anywhere. It's a great one here at Jeannette on WSN.
Are you saving enough to maintain your current lifestyle throughout your retirement years? Is it time to increase your retirement plan contributions? Is your asset allocation consistent with your retirement planning goals? Will Hoffman at Hoffman Wealth Management can help you determine if it would be in your best interest to revisit your retirement planning goals. Call him today at 724-522-5411 or simply stop by any local branch to arrange a free, no-obligation personal consultation. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Private Advisor Group and Hoffman Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Almost unbelievably, Serra Catholic has the lead, 46-44. Jeannette led 22-3 early in the 2nd quarter. A 19-point deficit erased, and now a 2-point lead. But this one certainly still a lot more work to do for the Eagles because it's Jeannette basketball. A 2 would tie it. A 3 would give the Jayhawks the lead, although the threes by and large have dried up in this second half.
Yeah, and after that timeout, Coach Corso broke down the huddle. He said, on 3, believe. And right now, he's got this Eagles team believing.
Brown. Sanders. Bass kicks it out. Mickens draws a triple team. Sanders goes reverse, draws contact, he'll go to the line. Jayhawks have struggled at the line in this one. Sanders missed both of his foul shot attempts in the third quarter.
I don't know. It's on DeMoss, so that's the contact. I guess with the body and the lower body, a little bit of contact. Good call there, good call. Again, in a situation like that.
No, I think Sanders crossed the foul line prematurely, so that does not count. And so I believe he would have just one remaining then. They won't have a do-over on it. You cannot cross before it hits the rim.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That's a tough break. You could see his balance was just not there. So he's got one remaining, and he banks it in to make it a 1-point game.
And he almost got another violation on the second free throw.
We'll take a break. Under a minute left, 1-point Serra Catholic lead on WSN.
That's the power of
Coach, building a championship team, I know for you, it's all about the details. The same goes with the Bowsers.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's the tiny little details every single day, not forgetting about it the next day and maybe doing it the following day. I mean, I think details are everything.
As Coach says, get your eyes right on the power of Bowser.
The Bowser family is proud to have Coach Narduzzi as part of our team.
Nunzio's Italian Restaurants would like to express our sincere thanks to all of our loyal customers for their continued support dating back to our beginning in 1977. Since then, we've grown from our original location in Jeannette. We then added Monroeville in 1997 and expanded even further as we moved into the Arnold Palmer Regional Airport in Latrobe in 2004. It is our pleasure to provide our customers with the very best experience. We look forward to seeing you soon.
A few miles down the road, GCC late fourth quarter leading 74-63 over Riverview. Centurions in first place trying to stay there. These teams tied for second. That will change after tonight. 49.4 seconds remaining. Serra up by 1. Jeannette has been called for 6, so the next would be a 1-and-1 scenario. And a timeout taken by Serra Catholic. The Eagles want a full timeout. We will step aside again. 38.7 seconds left in the fourth. 1-point Serra lead on Westmoreland Sports.
For over 35 years, Stevenson Insurance Associates in Greensburg has been saving their customers money on their auto insurance. If you are a safe driver and dissatisfied with the cost of your auto insurance, call Stevenson Insurance Associates at 724-832-9889. Lock in your great rate that won't change year to year unless you move, add a new driver, or buy a new vehicle. Call Stevenson Insurance Associates today for your free quote on auto, home, business, or life insurance at 724-832-9889.
Serra Catholic with 1 timeout remaining in possession of the basketball. Jeannette has committed 6 fouls. Not going to take the 7th quite yet. Dombrowski. Dangerous pass, and they get it to Ward. Thought that was going to be thrown across to Petty, but instead Ward gets it. He's fouled. He'll go to the line for a 1-and-1. He is 2 of 3 at the stripe tonight. Jeannette, by the way, has 2 timeouts remaining. We have seen the Jayhawks go 1 of 6 at the foul line in this fourth quarter. Can Serra Catholic try to put this one away at the line? So Ward makes it a 2-point lead.
Well, last time these two teams played and went into overtime, another down-to-the-wire finish. It's always a fun one when it's Jeannette Serra Catholic.
And the friendly roll for Ward. It's a 3-point game. Will the Jayhawks seek a 3-pointer as Adrian Batts calls a timeout? All right, 21.1 seconds remaining. What do you do if you're Jeannette?
Well, funny thing is, Sean, we've seen this Jeannette team in a similar situation when they played Greensburg Central Catholic. That was Serra Catholic that was in that situation. But still, nonetheless, very similar to that where, again, do you play for the tie? Do you try and get a quick basket and then a foul? Personally, I would not do that. But then you go into the other added aspect of when do you go and shoot that 3? Personally, I think you play for the tie. I don't think that the way Jeannette's offense has been working in this second half, that they can go to the basket quick enough, finish, and then get a quick foul. And plus, Serra Catholic has shot the ball well from the free throw line in this second half. So if you're Jeannette, I say you go for a 3, maybe take 7 or 8 seconds off the clock, maybe 9, but you don't want to go too late. So don't go, I would say, below 10, maybe not even below 9 seconds. You want to give yourself enough wiggle room where if you can get a putback, you get a putback. If I'm not mistaken, they have another timeout, and I know that, again, on a putback, maybe they can draw a foul, maybe they can go to the free throw line. At the end of the day, though, they're going to probably, I would think, play for the tie.
Marola had the hot hand early. He had 4 3-pointers in the first half. Jeannette collectively just 1 3-ball in this second half. Brown. He has not scored. Malik, 15 seconds left. Bass bobbles, gets it back, gives it to Brown, tipped away. It stays with Jeannette. That was not a good start to the possession for the Jayhawks, and now under 10 seconds, they might have to take a 3.
And Jeannette might have gotten bailed out there because that looked like it could have gone off the arm of Kamani Brown.
I think now you really do have to seek out that 3-pointer.
Oh, you have no choice. You have to.
And Adrian Batts will use his final timeout. Certainly the likely options here are Malik and Marola. And I say that because they're the only 2 players who have hit a 3 for Jeannette in this game. I don't think that's part of Bass's game. Brown has not scored at all. Mickens maybe. I'm not sure if he's a great 3-point shooter. He's done his damage inside the arc tonight. No doubt, early in this game, Marola was the player they were able to get free, and he knocked him down. But as you mentioned, he really struggled early in the third trying to replicate that from behind the arc.
Yeah, and a lot of his misses, again, were short, hitting front rim, usually a sign of fatigue, usually a sign of dead legs, as one would say. But on this play here, I would pay attention to the inbounder, see who it is. If it's Marola or Malik, I could very well see them getting the ball right back. I mean, they say in basketball, one of the most wide-open people on the court on an inbounds play is usually the inbounder.
We'll see what Coach Batts drew up.
I think it was also a good idea by Coach Batts. Use that timeout. Why not? It's either use it or lose it.
Brown. Marola. Serra can take a foul here. Marola puts it up. Can't hit it, and that will do it. Serra Catholic, unbelievable comeback victory as they shock Jeannette here at the Birdcage.
What a win. What a battle, a grind, especially for this Serra Catholic team. Down by a 22-3 at one point and able to prevail. Great job by this Eagles team, and a win that they can really, I think, hang their hat on and look back at and say, this is the type of team that we can be. We could be down by almost as many as 20 points in the first half and still find a way to win. And for Jeannette, well, again, I think this is a game you want to maybe burn that film and not ever look at it again, because talk about a meltdown. The Jayhawks, they have just suffered a big one.
The third quarter, Serra Catholic outscores Jeannette 15-7, and then in the fourth, 18-8 to get an absolute stunning win here. They improve to 5-2, as pending the outcome of the GCC game, at worst, Serra is in sole possession of second place, potentially tied for first, although we mentioned GCC did have a lead, 74-63 late against Riverview. The Jayhawks fall to 4-3 and 9-5 overall on the campaign. We'll take a break, catch our breath, come back to put our final thoughts and the finishing touches on this one. Serra Catholic comes storming back 48-45. They knock off Jeannette here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.
Are you saving enough to maintain your current lifestyle throughout your retirement years? Is it time to increase your retirement plan contributions? Is your asset allocation consistent with your retirement planning goals? Will Hoffman at Hoffman Wealth Management can help you determine if it would be in your best interest to revisit your retirement planning goals. Call him today at 724-522-5411 or simply stop by any local branch to arrange a free, no-obligation personal consultation. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Private Advisor Group and Hoffman Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
The Collision Shop by Jason Mignone is your one-stop shop for all things auto body repair. Our experienced technicians and state-of-the-art facilities have you covered on both passenger and heavy-duty vehicle repairs, including scratches, scrapes, and dents, free estimates, body repairs, welding, refinishing, glass replacement, and more. Our all-new alignment and calibration shop has the tooling, equipment, and staffing to ensure top-quality alignment and calibration adjustments for your vehicle. Our friendly office staff is more than happy to assist you through every step of your vehicle's repair process. Visit the Collision Shop by Jason.com for our complete list of services.
The John V. Graziano Funeral Home on North 2nd Street in Jeannette proudly serves families in the Jeannette community. The Graziano Funeral Home focuses on traditional and non-traditional services, including funerals, cremation, memorial services, military services, grief support, and pre-planning. Please call us at 724-523-5433. The John V. Graziano Funeral Home in Jeannette, creating a meaningful service to honor the life and memory of your loved one.
We get it. High school is tough. Life is tough. There's so much pressure from teachers, parents, and your peers. There's so much emphasis on your future, what you're going to do with yourself.
Sometimes it's easier to give in and drink a little, smoke a little, or take a little. But this stuff truly does have consequences.
If you can't handle high school, how are you going to handle prison? How are you going to handle being homeless?
Or how are you going to handle living your last days in a hospital? So don't drink, smoke, or take drugs if you don't think you can handle the consequences or your family's disappointment.
Start the new year with great savings from Mike Camlin Hyundai. New 2023 Hyundais are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. New Tucsons, Konas, Santa Fe's, and Sonatas, all available with 2.9% financing, or get up to $750 in rebates. Plus, all vehicles are backed by the Mike Camlin Advantage, oil changes for life. Stop by today or shop anytime at MikeCamlinHyundai.com.
A deflated Jeannette Jayhawks gymnasium here as Jeannette up 22-3 early second quarter. They fall at home to Serra Catholic 48-45. The Eagles come storming back, holding Jeannette to just 15 points in the second half, while Serra scored 33 after the break. And really just unbelievable change of momentum. Could not have been any more lopsided early, but in the end, Serra Catholic found a way to win this one. And mentioned they were able to come back against Leechburg on the road, outscoring the Blue Devils 19-9 in the fourth, and they replicate that here again on the road. Not easy to do, but Serra Catholic found a way. What did you see as the difference?
I really think, again, that halftime adjustment made by Coach Corso, going away from the zone, right from the jump. Jeannette saw that zone. They sniffed it out. They did a great job of just picking it apart left and right. Gio Morolo hitting a bunch of big threes in that first half, and even the threes that weren't falling for Jeannette, they were still getting really good quality looks. They make that adjustment, Serra Catholic that is, at halftime. They come out with man-to-man, which clearly Jeannette was not ready for, did a great job on the switches as well, and you could tell that a lot of the switching on the man-to-man off the ball screens for Jeannette, it was bothering them. They did not know what to do on some of those switches, so great job by Coach Corso to make that adjustment. And then for Jeannette, really, again, they didn't know what to do with that man-to-man, and as a result, their ball movement just completely fell off the cliff. It was very, very non-existent. They started rushing. They started getting out of sync and out of sorts offensively, and you could tell that Serra Catholic, it was playing into their advantage. They were starting out defensively, getting stops, taking it over onto the offensive side of the floor, and getting buckets, and they were able to manufacture quite the comeback here tonight.
Well, if you're Jeannette, I know you said burn the tape, but I doubt that they're going to do that because there's a lot that they need to kind of get squared away. And so, not just the loss, because that hurts, but the way that it unfolded, they have to be careful that something like that does not linger beyond tonight, right?
Oh, no question. And I think it really starts, and again, I'll reiterate it, from the free throw line. Jalen Bass missing, if I'm not mistaken, I know you have it there, but 4 big free throws in that second half, which the final score, 3-point difference. So that right there, and again, I know we could get real nitpicky with the free throws and whatnot, but if you're Coach Batts, first thing I'm doing is get your guys together and say, okay, it's a team that right now, they don't know how to play with a lead. And I talk about it a lot. Teams that know how to play with a lead and a team that knows how to play in a deficit. Well, Serra Catholic clearly showed that they could play in a deficit and win. Jeannette showed that they could play with a lead and lose. And if you have a team that plays with a lead and loses, that's not going to spell for a lot of success come playoff time, not to mention the fact that they fell apart in the second half. Not about how you start, it's how you finish. So for Jeannette, they have to find a way to carry over that really good first half into the second half. And also, when they get bogged down offensively, they need to find other answers. You can tell that a lot of the times they're looking for Marola. Marola might not be open, so then who's the next guy that can step up? Maybe Shane Mickens, maybe an Isaiah Malik, but that is, I think, what right now is hurting the Jayhawks, is that they don't have necessarily consistent third and fourth options to go to. Serra Catholic, on the other hand, they've got legitimate 3, 4, even 5 players that they can go to offensively.
Had to be a little bit of mixed emotions for Jonathan Bass, the former Jeannette Jayhawks girls coach. He is the father of Jalen Bass, but he is also a 9th grade boys basketball coach for Serra Catholic. So I would think that's an interesting dynamic, as I saw him going and congratulating some of the Eagles after the win. I'm sure ultimately he was cheering for his son. But as you mentioned, Bass misses some foul shots. Noah Sanders, remember that one that was wiped away because of the lane violation? He also missed a couple in the third. So the opportunities were there for Jeannette. Ultimately, they're going to have to find a way to close this out. But it was interesting. You talked about the playoffs and how something like that does not bode well for a playoff run. I think that's still up in the air now, because when you look at this section, we don't know the Springdale-Clairton game, but if Clairton won and they have a better record than Springdale, because that game taking place tonight as well, then Clairton gets 4 wins. Riverview, although they lost, they've done some damage. And so really, you have 5 teams right now competing for potentially 4 spots. GCC's in a really good spot. They're sitting at 6-1, and they have victories over both Serra Catholic and Jeannette, and they redeemed that loss against Riverview from earlier in the season. But for Jeannette now, there's certainly no 100% clear path to the postseason. You have to earn it by getting some key section wins.
Yeah, this is, again, a game where it can either break you or make you. And this is, I think, a kind of a crossroads of the season. You look at the overall trajectory of this Jeannette season. They go 5-1 through their first 6 games. Then they lose 3 of the next 4. And then they've won 4 of their last 5. Well, now 3 of their last 4. Now they've won 3 of their last 5. So it's been a rocky road for Jeannette. It's been up and down, up and down. And at this point of the year, if they want to make a push for that Final 4 spot in the section, they really have to be able to finish out the rest of section play here in January and into February strong.
Let's look at some of the final numbers in this one. We mentioned the score by quarter. Serra Catholic 3, 12, 15, 18. So they got better every quarter. Jeannette, almost the opposite. 17, 13, 7, and 8. Serra Catholic led by Elijah Ward's 16 points. Remember, he was able to play with 4 fouls for a lot of that fourth quarter. Joey DeMoss, the other Eagle in double figures, he had 11. 9 for Isaiah Petty. They all came after the halftime break. 7 for Pete Burke, 5 for Owen Dabrowski. No bench scoring. The 5 starters accounted for all of the points for Serra. And on the other side for Jeannette, 2 players in double figures. Gio Marola with 20 to lead the way. 14 of those came in the first half of play. Shane Mickens with a dozen. 7 points for Jalen Bass, 3 for Isaiah Malik, 2 for Lonnie Green off the bench, and 1 point for Noah Sanders to round out the scoring in this one. Once again, Jeannette now 4-3, 9-5. Serra Catholic is 8-6, 5-2. The Eagles next up will have a couple of home games, non-conference against Aquinas Academy and Vinny Cagini, who is closing in on the all-time WPAL boys scoring record, and then GCC at home on the 24th for Serra. On the other side for the Jayhawks, they will head on the road to play the Leechburg Blue Devils on the 24th. After that, they will compete in the shootout at Seton Hill University against Greensburg Salem before a big-time showdown against GCC that will be here at Jeannette on the 31st. That'll do it here tonight on our broadcast. I want to shout out both head coaches, AJ Corso and Adrian Batts, for giving us information. Our videographer, Chris Smith. The best producer in the business, Dan Flickinger. For my colleague, Jack Wright, and our Sean Meyer signing off. Your final score in this one, come from behind fashion. Serra Catholic wins 48-45 over Jeannette. Thanks for tuning into our coverage. We'll catch you again next time and all season long right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.